Okay, so we're in the fourth week of the government shutdown, with Speaker Mike Johnson refusing to call the House into session for multiple reasons. There's the fact that one Miss Adetta, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your first name, an Arizona Democrat who was democratically elected to Congress, has yet to be sworn in, possibly due to the fact that she would be the 218th vote for the release of the Epstein files. Never forget. Now, I already covered as to why the shutdown is happening. So in regards for extending the ACC tax breaks and whatnot, the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, you can go watch that other video. But it only took 10 months for Trump to burn all of his political capital. And frankly, I'm shocked it took this long, but I digress. What I want to talk about is SNAP. Essentially, food assistance for people that need it. Mind you, a lot of people do. A recent number came out, as many as 40 million people use SNAP on some level to help subsidize their food and grocery bills. Which, when I say subsidize, I don't mean that as a dig. I'm saying that they need the help because people in this country are not paid enough. You know, we have Jeff Bezos, who's worth $400 million. The Walton family is worth $400 million. And yet, there's a lot of Walmart workers that are on SNAP. There's a lot of Amazon workers on SNAP or about to be unemployed because they're about to fire, I want to say, 60,000 people. Which, Bezos, if you're watching this, that's for you. I know he's not going to, but still. Bear in mind, grocery prices are also getting more and more expensive, thanks to, in part, this dumbass. Now, back to topic. Sorry. A lot of people do depend on SNAP, including children, the elderly, and the differently abled, people who are not necessarily able to work. And as of November 1st, they're about to be cut off. And see, here's the problem. Democrats already put up a bill that would have funded SNAP, but it was already shot down. Hell, Dems also put up a bill that would have paid for the workers, but that was also shot down. We've also gone to a point where Republican members of Congress and the Senate are willing to let people actually go without food to try and force Dems to allow the budget bill vote to pass. This is just like movie villain levels of evil at this point, or maybe even worse. In response, several states are actually suing Trump, and rightfully so. There's actually $5 billion in contingency fund that could be used to fund SNAP in the event of an emergency, something like this, but Trump is refusing to use it, saying, I can't touch that, even though more Republican states use SNAP than anyone else. Now, it's hard to look at this from a fuck around and find out situation. Normally that's what I do with like the farmers, for example, but this involves vulnerable people, specifically kids, the elderly, and the differently abled, literally starving. While there has been a widespread movement online to help those in need, from giving to food pantries, they're already stretched thin due to the government shutdown and federal workers being affected as well. Short-term effects will be devastating to families, especially during the month of Thanksgiving, Turkey month. But I should also say, look at this from an even wider perspective, because some people lack empathy. Contrary to what most people believe, most people that have SNAP do work. Unless you're physically unable to, you do. Also, to qualify for SNAP, you have to have less than $3,000 in liquid assets. Think about that. How poor do you have to be to have less than $3,000 in liquid assets? Additionally, SNAP is not a drain on the economy. It's been proven. SNAP actually adds to the economy. For every dollar spent on SNAP, $1.80 goes back into the economy, which is a good thing. It's a smart long-term investment tool. But it's being used as a weapon. It's a bargaining tool at best and a tool at population control at worst. Stephen Miller has gone on record saying that we need to cull the population. I mean, that means to selectively slaughter. Now, obviously, they wouldn't do that, right? So instead, the current administration is basically saying either do the things that we want or else. And I'm really fucking curious to see about how this is going to affect things going forward, because we've already had multiple Republicans break from Trump over the tariffs, stopping tariffs on Brazil and Canada. Multiple Republicans are already in states are working towards stopping the redistricting push from Trump because they believe it's going to backfire bigly, which, yeah, it probably will. Again, I believe there's been 40 elections this year so far, not including the November election, that's different. But of the special elections that have taken place, Democrats have a clean sweep of 40. So let's see what's going to happen on November 4th. People are going to vote like they're hungry, because they are. Now, I think, and God, I hope I'm right, we're over the hill in what his administration can do as the infighting is getting worse in the Republican Party. Hell, even MTJ, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I don't like, is fighting Mike Johnson, and that is fucking saying something.